It is Sunday, July 26, 2020, and this is your Three Gorges Dam update. A quintuple of articles have broken since Friday's video, including East China's Anhui declares flood emergency in 12 cities. Another live update courtesy of the CGTN article we've been following. Next, perhaps a bit of good news, China sends more supplies to flood-hit regions. Up next, possibly our most important article of the day, heavy rains threaten further flooding across large parts of China. And last but certainly not least, excessive monsoon range deluge Asia, spurring deadly flooding. Let's get into it. And our first article of the day comes courtesy of reliefweb.int. East China's Anhui declares flood emergency in 12 cities. East China's Anhui province on Saturday announced that 12 cities in the province had entered the emergency period of flood control starting at noon, as continuous downpours have wreaked havoc across vast stretches of the country. The 12 cities on the banks of the Yangtze River, Huaihe River, Chaohu Lake include Hefei, Bengbu, and Wuhu, according to the Provincial Flood Control and Drought Relief Headquarters. Currently, the main courses of the Yangtze River and Huaihe River in Anhui have been flowing above warning levels, and the water level of Chaohu Lake is at its highest in history. Areas south of the Huaihe River and Anhui are forecast to experience spells of rain before Monday. Though the Three Gorges Dam has avoided disaster thus far, more trouble is on the way. Moving along to our next article, the live updates article we've been following courtesy of CGTN has been updated. And perhaps a bit of a silver lining in this update. East China's Yangtze province lowers flood response to second highest level. East China's Yangtze province on Friday afternoon downgraded its emergency response for flood control from the highest to the second highest in a 4-tier response system. Yangtze declared its highest flood alert level on July 11th as torrential rain battered much of the province, causing a vast majority of its riverside and lakeside embankments to exceed warning marks. Poyang Lake, China's largest freshwater lake located in the eastern province of Yangtze, seen its water level rise to a record high on July 12th. And before we move on to our next article, the picture you're seeing in the background right now is of the ancient bridge that collapsed on Thursday in the southeastern province of Yangtze. Moving along, this is courtesy of reliefweb.int. China sends more supplies to flood-hit regions, and all of this has happened since our last update on Friday. China on Friday allocated more emergency supplies to the provinces of Hunan, Anhui, and Jiangxi in support of local flood control and disaster relief work. A total of 2 million woven bags, 1.52 million square meters of woven fabric, and 700,000 square meters of geotextiles were allocated from a national reserve to Hunan, while 65,000 disaster relief items, including blankets and folding beds, were sent to Anhui and Jiangxi. As of 6 p.m. on Friday, 10 batches of flood prevention supplies worth 86.6 million yuan, that's about 12.37 million US dollars, and 195,000 flood relief items had been dispatched to local authorities by State Flood Control and Drought Relief Headquarters, the MEM, and National Food and Strategic Reserves Administration. Heavy rainfalls are forecast in the area along the Yangtze and Huai River over the next few days. Local authorities have been urged to further implement measures in disaster prevention and emergency relief work, while also strengthening security at key dams, rivers, and reservoirs. It is good to hear that the CCP is, at least on the surface, getting funds to those that need it. Let's move along to our next article. This is courtesy of the South China Morning Post. Heavy rains threaten further flooding across large parts of China. And this is perhaps the most important article of the day, moving ahead. Large areas of China have been warned to expect more heavy rain and flooding on Sunday and Monday. Torrential rains are expected in parts of Chongqing, Guizhou, Guangxi, Hubei, Hunan, Yangtze, Anhui, and Yangzhou, the National Meteorological Center said, warning that some areas would experience up to 7 inches of daily rainfall. Some of these regions will see up to 70 millimeters of hourly precipitation, accompanied by thunderstorms and strong winds. Extensive flooding along the Yangtze and other major rivers has already displaced more than 2 million people and affected millions more. Many parts of China, from provinces as far apart as Sichuan in the southwest and Gansu over 1,000 kilometers to the north, have seen heavy rainfall over the past 2 months, and the waters of many rivers in the affected regions have reached dangerous levels. At Lake Tai, on the border of the wealthy coastal provinces of Yangtze and Zhejiang, water levels have exceeded the safe limits for 9 consecutive days. The high water levels on the Yangtze, Huai River, and Lake Tai have lasted for a long time, and there's growing pressure on flood defenses. The Changjiang Water Resources Commission, which is responsible for the Yangtze Basin, also issued a warning about rapidly increasing water levels upstream in the Three Gorges Reservoir. The water authority said the water flow in the reservoir would hit 60,000 cubic meters per second, one of the fastest rates ever recorded. The Three Gorges Dam, which spans Asia's longest river, was built mainly to generate electricity, but the Chinese government also said it was expected to mitigate catastrophic flooding. Inchi City in western Hubei province issued an emergency alert on Sunday morning, and the county government has been evacuating people along the Guangrun River due to severe floods. Last week, authorities had to blow up parts of a dam on the Chu River in eastern Anhui province to reduce water levels. According to state news agency Xinhua, since July, flooding has affected 23.8 million people in 24 provinces. A total of 31 people are reported missing or dead, and more than 2 million people had to be relocated. The economic loss are estimated to be about 64.4 billion yuan. That's 9 billion US dollars. And I think the most notable thing about that article was the projected 7 inches of daily rainfall. We can only hope that the waters behind the dam have a chance to subside before this arrives. Moving along to our last article of the day. This is courtesy of SciTech Daily. Excessive monsoon rains deluge Asia, spurring deadly flooding. And quickly before we dive into the article, thank you for watching this video. If you're finding it informative, please consider giving the channel a subscribe. Rainfall that accompanies Asia's summer monsoon plays an important role in the region's economy by refilling aquifers, generating hydroelectricity, and providing water for crops. In some years, however, the amount of rainfall breaks records in places. That has been the case in 2020. By mid-July, severe flooding affected millions of people across South and East Asia. This map shows the rainfall accumulation across the region from June 1st, that's the start of the monsoon season, to July 1st, 2020. And that's the map you see in the background right now. The data is remotely sensed, and estimates come from the Integrated Multi-Satellite Retrievals from GPM, that's IMERG, a product of the Global Precipitation Measurement Mission. The darkest red places indicate where GPM detected rainfall totals exceeding 100 centimeters, that's 40 inches during this period. Due to averaging of the satellite data, local rainfall amounts may be significantly higher when measured from the ground. Note the abnormally high rainfall totals across India. According to the World Meteorological Organization, many parts of central, north, and northeast India had received 15 centimeters, that's 6 inches more rainfall than usual by the middle of July. The northeast Indian state of Assam, for example, had received a total of 89 centimeters, that's 35 inches of rain between June 1st and July 22nd, about 20% more than normal. The rainfall spurred deadly flooding that cut off villages and displaced thousands of people. There were also reports of animals, including rare one-horned rhinos, that drowned when water levels rose in Assam's Kaziranga National Park. Since early June, unusually strong stationary weather systems have produced frequent storms and heavy rainfall across south-central and eastern China. Dozens of rivers and lakes swelled to record high levels. Poyang Lake, for example, reached a record high of 22.6 meters on July 13th, surpassing the annual average maximum of 19.2 meters. Across the wider region, flooding and landslides threatened villages and affected millions of people. Monsoon rains also doused Japan. Just 1 week into July, parts of western Japan had received 3 times the amount of rainfall that is typical for the entire month. The deluge triggered floods and landslides that, according to news reports, caused the country's highest rain-related death toll in more than 3 decades. The monsoon is a familiar pattern in middle latitudes, occurring alongside seasonal shifts in atmospheric circulation patterns. This year, the low-pressure systems of Asia's summer monsoon have been especially strong and stationary, allowing them to pick up even more moisture from the Indian and Pacific Oceans and deliver it to land. Scientists continue to investigate changes in the Asian monsoon system that happen from year to year, as well as over millions of years. And I think this is a good place to wrap up today's video. I hope that you found it informative, and check back soon for more content.